Welcome to the Fit Affiliate Podcast, hosted by Tony Ronke and Lisa Hetherington, where we talk about behaviours and behaviour-based conversations as they apply to affiliate owners and coaches. And welcome back to the Fit Affiliate Podcast. And today I am super excited to talk to a new affiliate owner, Adam from Rugged Peaks CrossFit. How are you, good sir?
Good. How are you doing?
Yeah, not too bad. Whereabouts are you based in the States?
So we are right outside of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. The city's called Plum. It's like when there's not traffic, it's only about maybe 15, 20 minutes right outside the city. So
nice. Cool. But you don't have to get stuck in the middle of the city. So that's
right.
That's awesome as well.
Exactly.
So, you took up our invitation to jump on the podcast, which we're super excited about. I can sit and talk to Tony every week. But we love talking to actual affiliate owners out there and you guys who are on the front line doing the good work. So, and we love to hear your stories. So why don't we can kick off, I guess, with a little bit of your background, how you got into CrossFit, how long you've sort of been in the space.
Yeah. So, myself, so I'm going to kind of talk for both me and Jamie, my fiance and co-owner of the gym. She is home with our baby this morning, so I kind of got to come do this. So I'll kind of talk for both of us throughout it. So for me personally and my journey, let's see, I played sports all growing up in high school, before I played basketball, track, cross country, baseball. Didn't proceed to play anything in college. Kind of found that void in my life after a little bit of just school and working and not playing sports. So that I kind of it was not a weird journey, but a kind of a long point to CrossFit almost, because I started with just traditional kind of weightlifting in the gym, playing intramural stuff here and there, and then I got into rock climbing and American Ninja Warrior. So I got into that.
Nice.
Yeah, so that was cool. And then I started really going down the Ninja Warrior path, and I got called to compete twice, but both times were during the COVID years, and things got kind of messed up. So, that was kind of a frustrating 2 years of getting called and not being able to go. But so anyway, we move on, and then I moved out of the city to kind of where we're living now, and that's when I had been wanting to get into CrossFit, but I hadn't been able to find one in the city that really kind of fit my schedule with the serving and bartending jobs I was working in the evenings, and then classes were usually early in the morning, and it just didn't really fit. So when I moved out here, I finished my grad program, started working a more traditional hour job. So I was able to finally find the time to go to a CrossFit gym. And once I went to my first class, I was just hooked. From there, it was exactly what, that competitive side of me needed, and athletic side, and it was just everything that I was hoping for. So
yeah, fantastic. And where was that you did your first sort of dipped your toes into the water?
So I did I think it was a week or 3 session kind of free trial sessions at a gym in Pittsburgh when I was living down there. But that was the place I was talking about. The schedule didn't work, so nothing ever came. And then when I moved, the place I went to was called Rising 6 Strength and Conditioning, or Rising 6 CrossFit, and I'm sure we'll get to it down the road. But that's actually the gym that we own now. We bought that from them.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Rebranded and everything, but we can. I'm sure.
That'll be the next stage in the journey is how Rugged Peaks came to life.
Yeah.
And so that's your journey in. So how did Jamie, find her way into it, I guess?
Yep. So hers was kind of similar. She was an athlete her whole life too, played all kinds of sports. She was actually a D1 soccer player at both Rutgers and Pitt.
Wow. Nice.
Yeah. So she kind of was going through that same thing where, she was done playing soccer and finishing up school and looking for that kind of next level or next step of competitiveness and fitness and athleticism and all that. And so that's kind of, she was looking for that and kind of started to see CrossFit and wanted to give it a try. And that was kind of her journey, how she stepped into it too. So kind of similar, just not as many years in between the two before she found it.
But it's funny, like, you know, just about everybody who tries CrossFit and falls in love with it, you know, has used it to meet that need. Even people who come to CrossFit fairly deconditioned later in life, they still remember what they used to do in high school, and suddenly they can play again and compete. And, you know, we've just come out of the open, and it gives people that, and even people who were never athletic at school or high school get that thing to be, oh, I'm actually an athlete now. I'm athletic.
Yep. And that's the beauty of it, right? It's for anybody, for any reason, for any level, any health, fitness. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It's just, it's that, I remember the first time I walked in one, and I tried like all the other, you know, the running and the stuff that everyone said you had to do. And I remember walking in, and the first workout was death by 10 meters. So that should have been a red flag to me to like, this is not where you belong. But I was like, everyone was really friendly. Like, no one cared I came last. I was like, I think I found home here, you know, like I just like the feel and the vibe. So that's what, same thing. It's like, oh, like I just fit. I don't, it was super cool. So, you know, you guys had taken the leap, got into training, and clearly fell in love with CrossFit. What sort of prompted you to then take that next step to go, hey, we want to have an affiliate?
Yeah. So we, you know, we both had always said that we would love to have a gym one day. You know, I had thought over the past few years, I'd looked into maybe starting a Ninja Warrior gym. Just, you know, it's just always kind of been a goal of both of ours. And then the opportunity just kind of fell into our lap in a way. So like I said, like the gym we were going to was Rising 6. And the owners kind of came to us and were like, hey, you know, we're looking to sell. Are you guys interested? Because like they knew that we, you know, had been interested in a gym one day. So they kind of came to us, and at first we weren't really sure. We kind of said no right off the bat because we had just found out that Jamie was pregnant, and we were moving, and she was finishing school, and I was starting a new job, and this was in like, so we bought the gym in September of 22. So this would have been like, you know, November, December of 21. And so like we were moving, all that was going on. And, you know, we were just kind of like, I don't know, like that's a lot, you know, we're going to be new parents, job searching, blah, blah, blah. So we kind of said no right off the bat. And then, so just kind of went by as time went on, and summertime came, and our son Knox was born in May, of 22. No. Yeah, of 22. Get my years all confused. Like,
it's ever since 2020 now. It's like, they're all the same.
And ever since I'm like not in school anymore, not writing the date every day, I have to look all the time. But so he was born in May, and then it was like June or July-ish, and we kind of like got brought up again about the gym. And now that we were like a little settled, and you know, we were like a month or two into being parents and all of that, we kind of like gave it a little more thought. And then, you know, we really looked at it like, hey, it's, you know, Jamie has a marketing degree. So it was like, hey, you can use all your marketing abilities that she's really good with, like in the gym. And like, you know, you don't need to necessarily go get like a traditional job right away. Cause this is literally running your own business, and, you know, using those skills with it and building your skill set. And same with me, like with a business background. So like I could help from that aspect. We both, you know, we're very into CrossFit and love what CrossFit stands for and does, and all of that. And so we just kind of were like, okay, maybe this is something we can do, right? Like we're settled, we're moved, and, you know, we're kind of getting into parenthood. It's not, you know, completely foreign anymore.
We're figuring it out.
Right. You know, so all of those things kind of led to us reconsidering. And then another big thing that helped was that we only live like 5 minutes away. So it's super close, and it's nice that we can just bring Knox here every day.
Yeah.
I mean, we always say he's happier here than he is at home. Like it'll be like a Saturday or Sunday when we don't have classes all day, and he's like antsy in the middle of the day, like fussing, and we'll just like bring him here for an hour, and then he's like totally fine.
He's happy, he's cool, and that's a good way to be. I mean, he's
Right.
getting such a good foundation. Were you guys coaching at, the affiliate before you took it over? Had you started on your CrossFit coaching journey at that time?
Yep. So little side note, I guess, before we start, it's actually so Rising Six is where Jamie and I met. So that's another kind of
Wow. There you
little
go. That's
yeah.
cool.
Yep.
Nice.
Yeah. So that's kind of another cool little
That's
tidbit.
really cool.
Kind of has meaning to us, even though we rebranded and everything. But like we kind of the reason why we we wanted to do it. But so let me try. What was the question you asked again? Sorry.
About had you guys started coaching and started your coaching journey?
Yeah. So I was a coach. I had started there. Coaching at Rising Six in 2021 in the summer. So I had about a year of coaching under my belt. And then Jamie was not a coach at the time, but she took her L1 sometime last summer, like I think it was like end of July or August. So kind of soon after
Nice.
having Knox, but getting her coaching done. And then since we do all of the coaching at the gym right now.
Yep. So you don't have a team per se?
Not yet. It was, when we took over, there were some things we had to kind of look through and change and go through to, to make it how we got it or have it now. And one of those things was us doing all the coaching right off the bat, which is okay. We kind of wanted to do that anyway to build, the programming that we do and the values and the teaching and coaching and fundamentals and all of that. So we're hoping by the end of this summer we have a couple that we can kind of take a few classes from us, but we wanted to build that ourselves, and then we also want to take our time with training those coaches and kind of hopefully bring them from within so they kind of know already what we're about and how we do things and what we want to do and all of that, so that we didn't want to rush that. But
no, and we've found time and time again, like with our clients at Fit Affiliate, even in my own experience in the affiliate that I owned, it's my best coaches came from within, because you didn't have to justify or explain why you did something a certain way, because that's just how they grew up doing it in their CrossFit journey. Like they got it, they bought in, they understood your why, and was way less headachy. Every external coach I'd had was, problematic, and it was just a hard fit. So it's definitely worth that investment. And it's a smart move to take that time to find people who are a good fit, not just like, guys, we're really tired, I need someone who can do 5 a.m. Can someone jump in? Yeah, and then you got to fix things as you go, which makes it a little bit trickier.
Exactly.
Yeah. That's super cool. That's really good, and that you have that foundation, that history and legacy with where you started, but then have molded it to be what you want it to be. What led to the name? Clearly with your rock climbing background, but Rugged Peaks, and to rebrand something that was well established.
Yeah. So the rebranding part was, so we took over obviously a gym that was already running, and we had all the
How
equipment.
long had it been going for?
So it had been going, I think, on like 8 years, but it was
nice.
It had 2 owners before us. So it was like the original owners that opened it. She had it for I think 4 or 5 years, and then like 2 owners we bought it from had it for like 2.5-ish, somewhere around that time frame.
That's cool.
Yeah. So it was already kind of established. It's been through its flows of everything. It went through COVID, all of that, and we took over. It already had all the equipment. It had a space. It had some members. So the rebranding really came from like we just really wanted to make it our own, even though we were kind of taking it with those pieces and not necessarily starting from scratch. And kind of like the coaching thing, like wanting to bring in our values and our processes and teaching and coaching and all of that. We just felt like that was a very good way for us to kind of do that right from the get-go. And just
that's perfect.
So, and then the Rugged Peaks thing kind of came from both with the rock climbing, but we also both like being outdoors and hiking, and Jamie really loves it out west, like in Utah with all the mountains and stuff.
Yeah, lovely.
So she just she's very creative with that kind of stuff, way more than me. I'm a very give me the numbers kind of guy, not
Yeah,
a ask me to be creative
let's
about
make it
something.
look good. Yeah.
Right,
Okay, cool.
right. So she kind of came up with that, and then she designed the logo and all of that, and it
Yep.
turned out really, really good.
Yeah, like what I've seen on your socials, like since you've reached out, because clearly stalked you and had a look and go, okay, who's this guy Adam? And but had a look at the affiliates socials, and it is a really clear, strong brand, and it's sort of not in people can fall down the path of like the skulls and barbells and the whole clang and bang and everyone's going to die thing kind of to being more adventurous, which is when you start CrossFit, it can be that
Yep. Mhm.
adventure. And I think Rugged Peaks is a great analogy as well for your CrossFit journey. Sometimes it's up, sometimes and it's definitely not a straight, smooth, easy path, but it's
Right.
worth it.
And we like the kind of our, like, I guess, catchphrase or phrase of reach your peak, kind of for that same reason. Like, everybody's is different. So whether that's
Yep.
like, getting to your first class or
Mm.
competing in the quarterfinals or somewhere in between that, right? Like, it's
Yep.
still the same thing. It's just different for everybody.
Yeah, that's right. It's everyone is there for their own reason, but then we can
Right.
all come together and make it work as a community. So,
Exactly.
you've spoken a couple of times about how important your values are to you.
Mm-hmm.
What sort of values are did you want to bring to life, I guess, in the affiliate through using that as your vehicle?
Yeah. So I'd say a couple things. Our biggest ones would be we want it to be a space where like anybody can come to, everybody feels comfortable and safe, and that it's a family. Like, it doesn't matter kind of what age you are, whether you're seasoned or not seasoned.
Hmm.
We just really want it to be that like family kind of style values where it just feels comfort and homey, and you don't have to, like, people can come here whether they had a rough day at work or something's going on in life, or like whatever it is. Like, we want this to be the kind of the place where they can come and just kind of like reset, or if they
Yep.
need something, like, they can come to us, and if there's a way we can help, we will. um and I think we've done a pretty good job with that so far, from kind of how things have gone and the feedback we've got. You can kind of see behind me we have a little like kids area.
Yep. Yep. That's super
Like,
cool.
yep. So we always encourage, like, we have some members that bring their kids with them almost every time they come.
Yep.
Knox is here all the time.
That's awesome.
Yeah, we just had the open. We had our first
Hmm.
set of Friday night lights, and I think that really just kind of showcased that everybody feels that way, and how it kind of even helped other people kind of like mesh together, because the people coming from different classes or times a day. But we had a really good turnout all 3 weeks. It was
Awesome.
more than we had expected for our first open, in just like
Yep.
5 months from being
Yeah.
open.
Wow.
So
That's
that
super
was
cool.
super cool. Yeah, it was
That,
awesome. We were very sad when this was that yesterday, 2 days
but
ago, and we didn't have a Friday night lights. We were like, oh, this doesn't feel the same.
just about every other affiliate owner that's done it for a couple of years is like, that'll pass. You kind of
Right,
get to the
right.
you get a bit bogged down. I will say though, in my affiliate, I owned it for 7.5 years, and I did love the open, even though every like Friday was stressful and it was like taping and measuring. But
Yeah,
getting to walk around and see people like doing their thing was just, at the end of the night, I went home completely spent, but like my heart was full because I was like,
right. It's
this
so
is
worth it.
why the doors are open, like for the, and you remember that love of it, and you might have to talk a few people off the ledge and talk them down about where they're at, but it was such
Right.
a great bonding thing. It was so super cool. So I'm
Yeah,
glad that your first open as the owners was a
a good
cracking
one.
success. It's
Yeah.
good. It'll keep you fueled for the next bit of time.
Yep.
So yeah, go on.
No, I was just gonna say, and then our other one, probably just like kind of that transparency, honesty,
Hmm.
kind of value, where we're gonna be transparent and honest with the members about how things are going and what we're doing and why we're doing things,
Hmm.
and we want them to kind of feel the same way, to be able to give us honest feedback, no matter
Yeah, fantastic.
what it is, and and then I would say our last big one is probably just the how do I want to word it, like teaching those fundamentals and making sure people are doing things safely and are ready for things, and teaching the way that needs to be taught, like that CrossFit teaches us, and
Yes.
making sure people are ready, kind of going back to that, like feeling safe about being here. Like we're not just going to throw someone into the water and say, figure it out. Right. Like we
Yeah, off
have,
you go.
right. We have a couple
Jump
teenagers,
in.
right, that are here. And then we have like some older people and everyone in between. So we always have
Yep.
those options. And, we want to make
Yeah.
sure, kind of back to the coaching thing, we want to make sure that the coaches we bring in understand that too, and are able
Yes.
to do that,
To
for
do
time
that for.
when we're not here. Yep. Yep.
Yeah, and that's what you really want, is like when you've got a team, it's like that things are going to happen the way that it would as if you're there. They're going to have their own style and flair, and you don't want them to be a clone of you, but
Yeah.
it's still being able to take care of. I always thought of my members as they were my kids. They were, I was very protective of them, and
Right.
I only wanted them to have the best experience.
Yep.
And that's what you want to build on. So I love that you guys are forming that straight off the bat. When we initially chatted over email, you said that you also have a very strong mission, and I know we've touched on your values, but I guess when we talk about mission at Fit Affiliate, we talk about why does Rugged Peaks need to exist? Like, what's your driving force that when it gets hard and people are being shitty and all the rest of the stuff, it's like, why do you keep turning up, opening up the doors, and giving people an amazing CrossFit experience?
Yeah. I think it kind of goes to our values, of wanting to bring that place where, people can come to, and people have, and can bring their kids to. I know for us, like both having very fitnessy backgrounds and sporty backgrounds, having a place like this for Knox to kind of grow up in was like a dream true for us. So, and we know that's not the same dream for everybody, but we want to be able to make it that homey family, place in the community where you can bring your kids, or you can bring your family or friends, or, teens can come, younger kids can come with the adults, and, be here all at the same time, even if not doing like the same class, but just like being in that, that kind of safe, comfortable spot. Parents are safe with, their teens being here. People want to be here at the same time. And then it's just like it's what we're passionate about. It's what we love. We love what CrossFit does. We love what CrossFit stands for and strives to do. And, just all the health benefits just of fitness in general and life. Like, I don't know. I feel like sometimes they get kind of overlooked or undermined, or, it's just always like, jump to XYZ first. And it's like, yeah, sometimes you do, those things are good and they have their benefits, but sometimes just some working out and fitness and, can really just make a huge difference. So, with that being our passion and health and fitness, it doesn't feel like a job, to us, which is huge. Like, so we obviously, like, we're parents, and Jamie's a full-time mom. I currently work a second job at PNC Bank. So I was working there before we bought the gym. So we have a lot going on, and people always ask us, like, wow, like, you're still working your other job, or like, oh, wow, like you're staying home while he's working, but you guys have the gym. I'm just always like, yeah, but it doesn't feel like a job. Like, yes, it's a lot. It has its moments of like, oh, we got a lot to do. Like, it's a little bit overwhelming. We're kind of stressed, blah, blah, blah. But it doesn't feel the same way as that, like, normal job. It's like, it's what we love to do. And it makes
there is that saying that, if you do what you love, then you'll never work a day in your life.
Exactly.
And it's very true. Like, I know in my affiliate, it was very similar with the family vibe. Like, I was always known as the box auntie. So if there was a baby, usually I'd be walking around carrying it. And, the teenagers would jump in class with their parents, and then you see their relationships change. So it's not just mum or dad who tells me to clean my room. It's like, wow, mum's a badass. Like, dad's super cool. And dads have different things to talk to their daughters about. Mums have different, and it brings families together. And, even when I'd see the little kids pick up a PVC pipe and, do what mum or dad are doing, you're like, because they're just watching and they're taking it in, or, it's
That's
just,
cool
it brings it above everything else, doesn't it? Like, nothing else matters then. You're like, I'm doing
this is why
the
we
right
do
things. Yeah, this is why we do it.
This is why we're around.
Yeah, right. So you do have a lot going on. Like you said, you were you know, expectant parents at the time,
Mhm.
now that you are parents,
Yep.
you were planning a wedding, you were doing, moving and jobs and study, like, how do you find that you guys, and it's probably a good question given that you guys are the only coaches, like, how do you balance your time out to make sure that you're not, going too far in one direction and still making sure that all the things you need to do are getting done?
Yeah. I think that we're a very good team together, Jamie and I think all the kind of the factors, like I said before, about living so close and being able to always
Mm.
bring Knox here, and even though I'm working that other job, I do work from home a few days a week, so we kind of have that
Mhm.
flexibility. I have a lot of flexibility with it anyway. So like sometimes I can work in the evening if I need a little more time in the day, or vice versa. So I think that that's definitely been helpful. I think the two of us, like I said, kind of as a team, has been good because we can both kind of pull ourselves like back to where we need to be. I get
Yep.
some get down the rabbit hole of like, oh, we have XYZ to do that needs to be done, blah blah blah, and Jamie will be like, okay, but do they all really need to be done like right this second?
Yeah.
I'll be like, okay, okay, you're right. Take a second.
Yeah.
Like, we're
Yeah,
planning
and
for something in 3 months. It doesn't need done right this second.
yeah, you can't solve all the problems at once, and
Right. Right.
and sometimes too, having someone who can, and it sounds like you're a great balance for each other, but give you that voice, a reason to know, like, just don't react to something, just think about it for a second, respond,
Right.
plan what you're going to do, and we can act on it. Because sometimes, when couples particularly are running a gym together, it can be very hard about defining roles and who's doing
Right.
what, and then you've added the other layer of a new little dude in the family.
Yep.
But it sounds like you guys are strong in different areas, and that really complements each other. But you
Yep.
have the same focus and goals, and the reason why you wanted to own the gym anyway.
Yep. Yeah, no, absolutely. I think it's been good. Just all around is something we both wanted to do, which I think
Yep.
obviously makes a big help with that.
Yep.
And I just think being able, even though we're doing all the coaching, right, we have some time in between classes. We live so close that it's not like a 30-minute drive where like, we're like at the gym all day long and never home. So I think that helps
Mhm.
too, a lot. And
Yep.
then we still have our weekends, right? We still have some time in the evenings once like Knox goes to bed and our classes are over.
Yep.
So I think it was a very good opportunity and a risk we took, a jump we took,
Yep.
but it has worked out in every way so far. Knock on wood.
Yeah. Knock on, yeah, touch wood. So, and that's probably a good segue into sort of the next area, is like, you've been going now for, 5 or 6 months.
Mhm.
What's kind of been the biggest crap, I didn't know that, or the biggest lesson that you've learnt that, well, no one tells you this when you own an affiliate, kind of thing?
Yeah. Um, that's a good question. I don't know that we've really hit that kind of a big moment like that kind of yet,
Yep.
because I know we took over in September, and I know like September, October, November, December are kind of like the typically slower months for gyms. But I
Mhm.
think with taking over in September, we were already so just kind of like busy trying to learn everything, get things going. And then we had a lot of we had some members that used to be members that came back like as we took over.
Oh, yeah,
Um,
nice.
so that was helpful. So it didn't really kind of feel like that dull period where we didn't have like
Yep.
any like new people coming
We've
in.
just bought this thing and no one's coming.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly. So like I feel like we haven't had that kind of experience yet, and I know that that's just with the industry. Kind of you have those ebbs and flows.
Mhm. Yep.
So I feel like that'll be kind of our first moment when that comes, whether that's like over the summer or next fall, like
Yep.
winter. Um,
Yeah, I mean, for every affiliate owner, like, it's, as much as each of your members' journeys are quite unique, so is the journey of every affiliate owner. Like, there's 12,000 affiliates, and we all have taken this thing that we believed in and made it our own. So
right.
my affiliate was different to yours, and so on.
Mhm.
I mean, there's a common thread that binds us, but there are some common things that happen in the journey where we're all like, oh, no one told me about that.
Right.
But it's just part of that evolution. But your journey is just as unique as you guys are,
Yeah.
and you've come in with quite a clear focus and a clear why. Normally, like when I bought my affiliate, I always thought I could run a great affiliate. And then the owner kind of just said to me one day, I want out. I want to offer it to you. And it was like, well,
Guess
had
we're doing
no
this.
time to do anything properly. It was like just a manic decision. It's like, okay, we're in. And then I'm like, wow, there's so much stuff I didn't, think about. And it was just, it was not an ideal way to transition into the world of, owning an affiliate. And I had a week to move and all this sort of, stuff. It was chaos. And I felt like for the first year, it never really moved out of chaos until eventually you're like, okay. I mean, we've described it a bit in Fit Affiliate that it's like riding a line. And everyone's like, ooh, you're riding a line. That's really impressive. But you're on the line going, I don't know how I'm hanging on to this bad boy.
Right.
Like,
What am I doing?
Yeah. And it can be like that. But it's, I'm super stoked for you that you haven't had like a big come to Jesus moment in the first 5 months that went, oh, what are we doing here? So that's super cool. So I guess then on the flip side of that, in this 5-6 months, like what's been, do you think your biggest win or your biggest achievement that you go, yep, we're right where we're supposed to be doing what we're supposed to do?
Yeah, I think that was the Open for us.
Yeah.
Like we had done, obviously knew about the Open. We've done the Open in prior years.
Yep.
We were excited about it. There wasn't a big Open, like what do I want to say, like experience the last couple years when it with Rising Six, just not as much put together, not as much interest, kind of a whole thing there. So we knew going into it that we were going to really have to like, we wanted to make it something that was like totally opposite of that, like what you see on social media and what you hear about it. And we, we felt comfortable in doing that. And, but the turnout that we ended up having was just like above what we expected. And the way people came together and just the way people talked about it. And all this week, people were saying how like, oh man, there's that, it's over. Like we can't wait for next year, blah, 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 all that kind of good stuff. Just, really made us feel like, wow, like, okay, it's been, a hectic 4 or 5 months. It's been winter, it's been cold, it's been snowy, and we're growing and trying to figure it out as we go. And then we had those 3 Fridays of just like everything came together, and it was like, okay, this is it. Like we can do this. We're doing it.
We are doing it. Yeah. We've harnessed that line. We're heading it, steering in the direction we want it to go, which is really powerful. And that's awesome. Like, I can feel your excitement and energy from like the other side of the globe through the screen. Like, that's very, very cool. And, I look forward at some point that, we can have a chat with Jamie as well and get her sort of thoughts, balancing being a mum and coaching and doing the stuff. So, you've had a cranking Open, you've been going now, 5-6 months. What's the next goal for you? Like where do you want to get to next? Like in the next, say, to round out your first year.
Yeah. So we have a couple goals. We have some events planned like throughout the year that we would be some of our main goals. We're hoping to maybe host like a 5K like Thanksgiving event in the fall. So that's probably like our biggest thing coming up towards the end of the year. I guess that'd be a little right after our first year. And then the other thing, our other big goal is just to kind of continue to grow, bringing in some members. Obviously, the more members we have, the better that kind of goes, but also just like growing in the community and getting our name out there and having like, different groups kind of know who we are and be able to do different events, to support other small businesses or just businesses in general or organizations in the community. We're having our kind of first one of the year, I guess you could say, on March 25th, where Jamie's putting together a coffee. She named it a Coffee by CrossFit wad. And so we're just having we're going to have a raffle basket for someone to win. We're going to have some homemade baked goods and coffee to sell from a local small business. And then we're going to have a coffee themed kind of workout and heats in the morning and just have people hang out and buy raffle tickets. And, and then we're going to donate all the proceeds to Gigi's Playhouse, which is an organization across the country for Down syndrome achievement centers.
Oh, wow. That's very cool.
Yeah. So a lot of things like that we want to do, right? Just things that, people can come in, have a good time together, have some coffee or baked goods or themes and like support a good cause. you know,
and clearly something that you're passionate about to you know, drive that and to have a, you know, to have a legacy that stretches outside the footprint of the gym.
right,
Like
exactly.
you want, I mean, the ideal is that you want your community, if something happens, they know that, well, Rugged Peaks will help us out.
Right, right. I mean,
they're our people to go to.
Right, like everything the members do for us with being a part of this and coming in and you know, supporting us and being here through the week and their classes and coming for the open and supporting our events is just it means everything to us, and we want to be able to give back to them, whether that's directly or through fun events or you know, like you said, however that needs to be. They do so much for us that, you know, we want to be able to do that for them too.
That's awesome. And you know, I am super excited to follow your journey, continuing on the socials. We'd be lost without them now. But
I know.
I think you guys are, you know, I've loved hearing your story about how, you know, you wound up in this place and you've got this amazing thing now, what you know, really well thought out about what you're doing with it. And that super excites me, because I know, you know, that's what we love in Fit Affiliate, is seeing affiliates, you know, changing the world, changing members' lives, but also changing their own lives.
Yeah.
Like you're in control of your own destiny now, really. Like there's nothing that you guys can't do. So that's awesome. Thank you so much for your time today. I really enjoyed this chat. And like I said, I'll reach back out to you guys, because I'd love to get, you know, both of you back on for another episode, or Jamie, just to talk about, you know, things, being a mum and business owner. And because I know that in the CrossFit ecosystem, that's also a big thing. So that's super cool as well.
No, she would do that.
Yeah, that would be really cool. And bring Knox. We love the babies.
Yeah.
We quite often have.
If he starts to yell a little bit, he's starting to talk and babble and likes to make his noises now. So that's
super good. Like Fit Affiliate, if it's dogs or kids, we're generally pretty happy.
Like we have dogs too. We'll just
go.
Up a camera in the living room and let them go to town.
Yeah, just let them have at it. We're a big fan of the dogs and the kids, and you know, we quite often have we've had people on the podcast and their kids are like clambering all over them, and it's cool. Or if, you know, Tony, the founder of Fit Affiliate, when he's on a podcast, you know, his dog's usually in the background, or my dog, she's sleeping right now, but you can often hear her bark, which sets off all the dogs around the world that happen to be listening in on the podcast. So it's kind of fun. Awesome, my friend. Thank you again. Thank you for chatting to me. I've loved our conversation, and you know, keep crushing it. You guys are doing great things.
Thank you. We appreciate that. Thanks for having us on, and we look forward to the next time too, hopefully.
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely.
Yeah.